we are going to be learning about figurative language, specifically in poetry. Alright, in our agenda for today, we're going to be taking notes on figurative language. I'm going to tell you guys about 5 different ones. Well, the 5 most prominent ones that are used in poetry and other forms of literature. Then we're going to annotate I Wandered Lonely as a Cloud, which is a poem that includes all of the different types of figurative language. And then I'm gonna give you guys a poem to annotate in groups. Since there's not too many people here today, it's just gonna be one group and one poem. Alright. So first I wanna go over similes and metaphors. A simile describes something by comparing it to something else. And a good way to remember it is that it's almost always used like or as. So a few examples of that is we could do as fast as a cheetah. Is she literally a cheetah? No. This is a saying that says, oh, she's really fast. Or I slept like a baby, or she's sweet as sugar, meaning she's nice and polite. And a metaphor describes something by literally stating that one thing is another. Does not use like or as. So some examples is she's an early bird, it's raining cats and dogs, it's not literally raining cats and dogs, and the classroom was a zoo. Y'all have any questions or any other examples y'all can think of similes and metaphors?
Ooh, my mom always says people are as sly as a fox.
Sly as a fox.
Yes.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
What does she mean by that?
She means like that people are sneaky and like, you know, they're sly. So yeah.
That's a good one.
Stuff. Yeah.
That's a good one. Okay. And again, an easy way to remember it, similes use like or as, metaphors do not. Personification. Personification attributes human characteristics to something that is not human. A few examples I put down: the story jumped off the page, the sun smiled down on us, you could hear the trees whisper in the dark. And that's basically saying like, okay, you know, the object isn't literally doing it, it's just saying how, it's just basically applying human attributes to it. Do you have any other examples of personification? Or do you have any questions about it?
So like if you said the dog talked with his eyes, would that be personification or would it not be because it's like
I
a
would say
living thing?
that's personification.
Okay, yeah.
Because a dog, it's pretty much anything non-human. So a
Okay.
dog could count, any animal
Yeah.
could count, an object, an idea, anything can count. Alright, imagery. Imagery are descriptive words used in a text that help the reader create an image of the setting of the story or how the narrator feels in the story. And I put on a little graphic on there because it kind of gives a better visual. It's basically descriptive words. Like, for example, like if somebody wants to describe a visual of like the forest, they'll be like, oh, the tall skinny trees look down on me. That's also personification too.
Yeah.
The tall skinny trees look down on me as I was walking through the forest. Basically anything that describes something. Any use of words that helps you have a vision of what the narrator is talking about. And there's 5 different types. There's auditory, which describes music, noise, or even silence. So that describes pretty much what the narrator is hearing. There's tactile, which describes what we touch. So somebody could like describe the texture, like it was a grassy texture or like a chalky texture. There's visuals, which is basically like color, shapes, patterns, like, oh, the sunflowers were yellow, and you know, stuff like that. And yeah, that's imagery. Any questions? All right, idioms. are my favorite. I think they're fun. It is an expression that holds a different meaning than its literal meaning. Like once in a blue moon, or cat got your tongue tied a knot, meaning get married. And most of the time, idioms are more spoken than written down. Like, think of like a common saying that you hear, like your family members say, or something like that, where it's just something they always say. Like, for example, my mom, she always tells me like, "Girl, you don't know how sugar sweet." And basically, that's an idiom, and she's basically telling me like, "Oh, you're young, you don't know nothing about anything." That's basically what she's telling me.
So it's like, don't open Pandora's box.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Or like, if it were a snake, it would bite you.
Yeah, just common sayings like that that you hear all the time. So that's idioms.
My mom always tells me that.
Mhm.
All right, and now we're gonna go over "I Wandered Lonely as a Cloud." It is a poem. It is a poem by William Wordsworth, and it has many examples of personification and imagery specifically, but there's also similes and metaphors in it as well. So what I want you guys to do is open the Word doc I sent you, "I Wandered Lonely as a Cloud." Alright, and we're gonna follow along with the video. It's gonna help explain exactly what the narrator is saying and the different forms of language that's in it. And there should have been a link to the Ed puzzle. Did y'all put that too?
I did not, but I will find it.
Yeah.
And y'all don't have to play the video, cause I'll just play it and y'all can listen to it.
Okay.
We'll just skip that.
I Wandered Lonely as a Cloud was originally published by William Wordsworth in 1807. As you follow along, think about which images stand out to you. I Wandered Lonely as a Cloud by William Wordsworth. I wandered lonely as a cloud that floats on high o'er vales and hills, when all at once I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils. Beside the lake, beneath the trees, fluttering and dancing in the breeze. Continuous as the stars that shine and twinkle on the Milky Way, they stretched in never-ending line along the margin of a bay. 10,000 saw I at a glance, tossing their heads in sprightly dance. The waves beside them danced, but they outdid the sparkling waves in glee. A poet could not but be gay in such a jocund company. I gazed and gazed, but little thought what wealth the show to me had brought. For oft, when on my couch I lie, in vacant or in pensive mood, they flash upon that inward eye, which is the bliss of solitude. And then my heart with pleasure fills, and dances with the daffodils. I Wandered Lonely as a Cloud is a lyric poem, a short, song-like poem that expresses thoughts and feelings. It was written during the Romantic period, a movement lasting from around 17.
Alright, so that was the poem. Now, what I want you guys to do, there's on the Word doc of the "I Wandered as Lonely as a Cloud," we're gonna go over the different types of language in it. There should be like a color code thing on the side. And what I want you guys to do is just highlight just match the colors to what the form of language it is. So I wander as lonely as a cloud that floats high over valleys and hills, when all at once I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils, beside the lake beneath the trees, fluttering and dancing in the breeze. Alright, are there any forms of language, figure of language in that stanza that y'all noticed?
I wondered lonely as a cloud. Can that be both personification and a simile?
I would say it's a simile, cause
Okay.
he's not saying, well, now I think about it, it could be depending on how you look at it, but I would classify it more as a simile,
Okay.
cause it's using like or as, and he's talking more about himself being lonely, not so much the cloud, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I would highlight that yellow.
I feel like golden is imagery,
Yeah, I agree.
That's imagery, yes.
and fluttering and dancing would also be imagery,
Would it be
and
personification?
personification.
Yeah.
Cause he's saying the trees are fluttering and dancing. Well, trees can flutter, but they can't
Good
dance.
job. So y'all got either highlight that green or purple, either way y'all get credit for it. Anything else y'all notice?
Loving that.
We can move on to the next one now. Continuous as the stars that shine and twinkle on the Milky Way, they stretch in a never-ending line along the margin of a bay. 10,000 saw I at a glance, tossing their heads in sprightly dance.
I feel like almost that entire thing is imagery, like
Imagery?
before the
Mhm.
colon,
Yeah, I would say so, yeah.
and then like after the colon, it's personification.
Right.
Well, just tossing their heads in sprightly dance. The 10,000 saw I. Whoa. 10,000 saw I at a glance. I don't think that falls into anything unless I'm wrong.
No, you're right, it doesn't
Okay.
fall into anything.
The first sentence is a simile as well, huh?
Yes, it is.
Oh, yeah. Missed that.
Well, yeah, y'all can't highlight it twice, so y'all can just highlight it as either one.
Yeah.
Cause it stands, it counts for both of them. Alright. The waves beside them danced, but they outdid the sparkling waves in glee. A poet could not be gay in such a jocund company. I gaze and I gaze, but little thought what wealth to show me, what wealth the show to me had brought.
There's a lot of personification in that.
Mm-hmm.
With which line?
The waves beside them dance.
Dance, yeah.
But, well, I don't know if, but they outdid the sparkling waves in glee, is that personification? Cause a person can only be, well, I guess a dog could be happy.
I think sparkling is imagery and glee is personification,
Yeah.
because the waves are happy, like,
Yeah, that can definitely be both. I was leaning more towards imagery,
Okay, yeah.
cause it's describing the waves.
Would he also be personifying the show in the last sentence of that stanza? Because what wealth the show to me had brought?
Well, when referring to the show, he's more talking about his setting, like his surroundings. Like the show is just like the field of daffodils, and he's basically describing how the scenery is making him feel.
Okay.
Like it's making him happy or gay, which means happy too. So.
Okay.
All right. For oft, when on my couch I lie in vacant or in pensive mood, they flash upon that inward eye, which is a bliss of solitude. Then my heart with pleasure fills and dances with the daffodils.
I I feel like, and then my heart with pleasure fills and dances with the daffodils is imagery and personification.
Yeah,
Because like I'm imagining his heart filling up.
yeah,
Right.
since his heart isn't like a person,
Yeah.
that's personification.
But it's also like making it like picture in my brain.
Yeah, and it dancing with the flowers.
Yeah, it's definitely
Yeah, that's
personification.
personification.
Yeah.
But yeah, this poem, there's definitely a mix of a lot of similes, personification, and imagery. Some lines represent both, but seems like y'all have a good understanding of it.
Yeah, well, you did a great job teaching us.
Thank you. I love my students.
We love Miss Morgan. She's the best.
Alright, so our last little assignment here, could head back to the PowerPoint. And in groups, we're basically, each group is gonna choose a poem. And y'all are basically gonna do the same thing y'all just did. But since there's like not a lot of people here, we could just do one poem. We could do Harlem, Phalanx and Hughes. I think that's a good one. We should do that one. So there should be another, y'all should have another document with Harlem. And I want y'all to work together and highlight and annotate, point out similes, metaphor, imagery, whatever you guys see. And I'll be up here if y'all have any questions about it. I'll give y'all a few minutes.
So, what happens to a drink deferred? Can you defer a drink, or is that personification? Cause I feel like you could defer a person or payment. No.
I don't know if
No,
there's anything.
yeah. Does it dry up like a raisin and, oh, that's
That's
a,
imagery.
oh. So
Or I
like,
think it could be both.
it's both, should we do half and half?
We can do
Like
half
half
and half.
yellow, half yellow, half purple? Okay, or fester like a sore. What does fester mean?
Fester?
Like swell up or get agitated.
Basically, yeah.
I feel like that's kind of the
Yeah,
sim-
when
might be
a
imagery
wound-
too. Maybe they
Yeah.
overlap a lot.
When a wound becomes septic?
Ooh, septic. I
Yeah.
know what that means.
Yeah.
Okay.
basically.
That's scary. And then run. Well, a wind can't run, so
So-
that's what
Okay,
color was
we agree.
personification?
Personification
That one
is purple.
Oh. What
It's
color?
okay.
Okay,
Maybe
simile-
green.
Well, y'all can choose whatever color, I just need to know.
Okay,
Okay.
okay, we got it.
Yeah.
Speed.
Does it stink like rotten meat? Ooh, that sounds like imagery to me. Does that sound like imagery to you?
I think so. I think it could also be a simile.
It could be. Goodness.
But maybe rotten is the imagery,
Oh wait, I just
and
did
the
that.
rest is a simile.
Computer's not gonna work. Okay. Yeah. Awesome. Okay. Or crust and sugar over. Crust and sugar over. Like oh, that's look. We need to
That's
keep
a
reading.
simile.
That's a
There
simile.
we go.
Okay. Maybe it just sags like a heavy like simile.
Nice.
Or does it explode? I don't think that has anything to do with it. Okay, we're done.
Y'all done?
Yes.
Alright, let me see what y'all got.
Oh, that's scary. Miss Morgan.
Okay, so I assume yellow is simile?
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a lot of it?
And then purple is personification and green is imagery, I think.
That's good, yeah. Dry up like a raisin, like her ass. Fester like a sore, like her ass. It's the best way to point it out. Does it stink like rotten meat? Yep. Like syrupy sweet? Yeah. Or maybe just sags like a heavy
It was
load?
like,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, yeah. Alright, personification, that's purple?
Yeah.
Raised in the sun, does it dry up like, yeah?
It's kind of like combined, like we did
Yeah,
half
it
and
is
half, 'cause
combined.
we,
It is
yeah.
combined, cause a dream is not a person,
Yeah.
it's a dream. Fester, yep. Like rotten meat, yeah. Alright. It looks good. And then run personification, obviously, cause a dream can't run,
Yeah.
it's just a
Mhm.
thought. I did good.
Thank
Alright, so, any more questions before I end the lesson? I have a small homework assignment, it's nothing crazy.
I hate homework.
I know, but it's not like a worksheet or anything. I just want you guys to understand idioms a little more.
Okay.
So what I want you to do is, go home, have conversations with your family, friends, and, whenever you hear one of those common sayings, I want y'all to write it down and come back and tell me,
That sounds
and
fun.
tell me, oh, hey, this is an idiom. And some idioms have a mix of personification in there, simile, so, yeah, I just want you to, practice at home.
Okay.
And so y'all can identify what it is. Anything else? Any questions?
No.